Morning, even though it's about 1:30, but I can't really accept the time I'm waking up or getting up at the moment, so I'm just going to call it morning, and it will appease. Sorry for the poor angle, I'm just finishing off getting ready. Sorry for the poor angle. There we go. Yeah, I can't quite stomach at the time I'm being allowed to get up by my parent. That is my mental health disorder. So I'm just going to call it morning and go about my day. The truth is, this tone of voice, the positivity, is required only. What I mean by that is, given a little bit of a easier circumstance on my end, I'd be a little bit more real with what my life is giving me as life. But what it's giving me as life is a lot of challenge. And within that challenge, as I return to dealing with the last few weeks at least of insanity, I've compartmentalized it, and I'm constantly lying to myself, if I'm honest. I mean, the reality of my life is isn't pleasant. It's very what's the word I'm looking for? Oppressive. That's it. It's very oppressive. But I know from experience that I have to get up each day and fight. The other option is to go down the spiral, and well, as I said, it's bad enough as it is. So I suck up whatever pride I have in terms of being real to life, in terms of my ego, and I appropriate to the circumstance and what the circumstance is requiring. And what it requires is me to be active. And to be active, given everything, I need to make it as easy as possible for me. For me, I've got to be a little bit more positive. As long as I can see that, and it's not forced down my neck, like the vaccine mandates will be, that seem to be beginning to come into place. Fingers crossed we can turn that around as a collective race. But because I can see it, and I was the one who chose, like this is what's needed in my life, this is what I have to do, I'm just getting on with it. It's not, well, it's a problem, but it's not the end of the world. For all intents and purposes, on a personal level, it's me trying to avoid my own personal end of the world, not a death. But if things get worse, I'm in a place where I can't understand life again, and when you can't understand life because of oppression and consciousness, it might as well be the end of the world. So I posted a live stream last night. If anyone's watching this, I suggest giving it a listen. I was trying to get back on making live streams and videos on it was a download I got last night. It was another piece of the puzzle, another how would I describe it? It's like, I've said it before, I used to play this game when I was a kid. One of the few games I played, Zelda, Legend of Zelda. 1 second, I just got to get my almond milk. So with platform games, most platform games, and especially with this game that I just referenced, what happens is you walk around like a makeshift world. I don't know how to describe it. Its own world according to the game. And at the beginning you get a very small picture of the map. So you have a map there that you can view all the time. And as you explore the world, more of the map is shown to you, but a lot of it's left in as black, just empty, like nothing there, and you don't know what's there. And it's very similar to my spiritual my spiritual exploration. And as I learn more of that map, spiritual map, gets filled in. Well, it was another piece of the puzzle last night in reference to Hathor, the goddess Hathor. Because with Hathor, she's meant to be a flying fish. So in other words, she can go in the sea and in the air. But she's also got like a reptile sort of connection. So she must be very ancient, like from the dinosaur, back from connected to the dinosaur period. So what I'm understanding, beginning to understand, is like different alien races and different goddesses and gods. They have connections to animals as how would you describe it? A reference, as an evolutionary path to their own consciousness. They follow the energy of an animal. Well, Hathor must be ancient, and hers dates back to what must be, you know, the dinosaurs' times. And anyway, what I understand about Hathor is that her animal that links with her is the great turtle. Pardon me. And the great turtle comes on land and lays its eggs on the beach. And it has a rock for a... And I was always thinking, you know, I can see the turtle connection, but it doesn't quite ring true as Hathor, because Hathor is meant to fly as well, a flying fish. So it can't be the turtle. What's going on there? And I just, whenever I get these things that don't make sense, I always just leave them there as like it's almost like quantum physics. They have, so you know, in computers they use ones and zeros to well, to do everything. That's the language. It goes back to ones and zeros, binary. With quantum computers, there's one, and there's a third. I don't know what you would call it. A third number, but that third number never goes above 1. That third number is actually a possibility. So you've got 0, you have 1, and a possibility of 1 or 0. In other words, a computer is all about fact-based stuff, and it needs to know to operate. Well, with quantum computers, they admit they don't know. So there's 1, there's 0, and then there's I don't know. So in other words, it could be 1 or 0. And it's a bit like that with the map. Whenever I get these bits of spirituality that quantum qubit, they're called, I don't know. And in that place where I don't know, I come back to it every so often with and explore the idea, do I know now? And last night it sort of clicked, and it was actually tidying a few other what would you call it, parts of the map, and it was just really heartwarming. You know, when you get spiritual information, it's like, or it's mind-opening, but this was just like heartwarming. And I thought I would share that last night. And basically it's how Hathor finds her wings. So if anybody's interested, it's there to watch. It's only a short one for once. Yeah, just touching base with a slightly lighter tone to my voice. We've got a new variant at the moment, and it's ironic that it's come around this time for us all, when I see such change in me on a personal level. In other words, on a personal level, I've had to surrender a lot of, given what I started the video with, that I'm taking a practical approach to just getting on with life. On a personal level, there's been a lot of change in me. My eyes have changed. Now, the eyes are the soul. The eyes on a spiritual level are the soul. And I know 100% something's gone on with my eyes. So on a soul level, something has been taking place with me. And we have the coronavirus that's mutated at the same time. Ultimately, the only thing that really is of precedent is the wish that no more suffering has to come to us as a collective race, and that no, but it doesn't increase the death toll, the suffering on that level. But we'll wait and see what happens there. We've got the top buds in terms of scientists at work already, and crunching the numbers and operating within the system they find themselves. So see what they can achieve for us. But what was it I was going to say? Yeah, on a personal level, what was coming to me yesterday as I was beginning to break through, you know, the past few weeks, the how would I describe it, the energy that had been left on me from the experience of the past 2 weeks, which just like paralyzed me on a spiritual level, and it was like my energy was like stuck like that. And where it was a bit stuck like that, I had to break it through with a lot of concentration and effort. One of the things that happens that I do, well, that I did, whatever, however you want to reference it, is I just think, I tend to think about spiritual ideas. And spirituality is, I wouldn't say human me, and in the right way it can lift my spirits. So I started thinking about spiritual ideas, and then I got onto what's going on for me in terms of my health and my mental health, and what it could mean in terms of us as a collective. And I started to get a picture about how and why society is so fucked up in a good way. So in other words, I've been getting these ideas for a long time. I've always thought them. What I mean by that is I see the world as pretty fucked up, as we just said. And where I see it broken, I also see a lot of consciousness and love in people, even the bad people, even the reptilians that are responsible for all of our collective enslavement. I still see a lot of good in them. But nothing's really made sense as a picture as to why, what it could be, what the story, what the narrative is as to why there's love in the world, but there's also a lot of insanity in what constitutes our collective lives. From the big pharmaceutical companies that put out medication and it just doesn't seem to help, if not make it worse, and the way society is structured around sex and how it's so detrimental to us, and all of that tied in to a very, well, I won't say a very, but the most plausible explanation I've had as to how all of that madness and insanity could be for good. And I'm aware war exists, and all these ideas have been trying to come to me for a while to say to me, look, Andreas, don't be so down and depressed. The world is actually good behind the bad that you see. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. What you've presented to me as the reason makes sense, but war exists. And this has been happening for a while, and I just keep poo-pooing all of these stories that keep coming to me as to why society and the world is actually there for good. But yesterday, the explanation I had, the story that came to me as to why it's actually good, was the most plausible one yet. And it links in on a personal level with what I'm experiencing in terms of my physical health. I've just noticed you're seeing all of these sticks and the foam on the camera is the work from yesterday. They've all got to come down now. They were just there to help prod up the insulation wire I spray foamed around the edges, and that's all stuck in. It can be cleaned up. It tied in on a personal level with what I'm experiencing, and it's given me something to explore in terms of my healing mind as an alternative therapist, complementary therapist, to try and find an answer, find a solution. And as I said, I have physical problems. Physical health problems are the main problem in my life at the moment. And those physical problems are a direct reflection of the world's problems, or at least my physical health problems are the reason for the world's problems. So I can really work with it on a tangible level, you know. I can think very practically, looking at myself, how to find a solution. I'm not confident enough to really start talking about what it could be, because it's a very serious thing, and I'm not certain at the moment that it's true. But as I explore it more and more, if I start believing it as true, I'll begin to talk about it and share it. But just to give you an idea, it basically comes down to our sexual, how would you call it? Privilege, our sexual birthright as a human being, and how that has been affected by something that dates back, you know, thousands of years. And in that effectiveness, it's really serious, the final result, what it can do. So just wish me well in trying to find the solution, because if I find the solution, it means more sex, great sex, and happy times for the whole fucking planet. But I've got a mental health disorder. I might just be talking a load of bollocks, and it might just be another psychotic storyline that's managed to convince me it's half true. We'll see. Anyway, I'm in a place where I'm about to get on with work and take down these. That wasn't meant to happen. Bits of bamboo, these sticks that are holding up the insulation, and get on with the rest of my morning. Anyway, yeah, so I suggest maybe listening to, and otherwise the sun's out after the storm of the past few days. Can we do it? Can we do it? Can the human race do it? Can we all set ourselves free from whatever has enslaved us? Because we're a slave species, whatever. Reptilians, or to some sort of thousands and thousand-year-old disease? Can we find a way to set ourselves free and start living together again? What are you doing today?